What is up, ladies and gentle nerds? It's your boy Graham, also known as HamHawks42, and today we are looking at Ikoria spoilers some more. And I want to have a moment. Yesterday they revealed a series. They are bringing back a set called Ultimatums, which there were a number of cards back in the day. I have to admit I haven't played with them myself, but they were called Cruel Ultimatum, I believe Brilliant Ultimatum, Vicious Ultimatum, etc., etc. And they were all cards. There were three colors. They cost 2 mana of one color, three of another, and then two more. And I believe that they all were the allied colors. So it was the allied color arcs was the shards as they're known. Um, and what they did, they all had very, very powerful effects. So it costs 7 mana and it's color locked. So it's very specific and it's tough to cast. But if you cast it, it has a huge splash on the game. All right, that's interesting and that's cool. Well, they're reprinting that series so that they now have these three color ultimatums, which are kind of fun and interesting. And now they're leveraging the wedges, which is kind of a cool twist on it. So we're looking at different color pairs or color combinations, color trifectas that are going to be producing some really incredible effects. Also, if you're curious, this thing in the background is my attempt at improving the soundproofing by shoving a robe on a lamp. Yes, that is actually happening. But anyway, because we're trying things out, we're experimenting. Anyway, if you're curious, what the hell is that thing in the background? Anyway, so the Ultimatum series, very interesting set of cards. They all very, very, very powerful. Great for commander in those kinds of situations, but you have to have really intense mana fixing in order to pull it off. Well, today I'm going to look at a card that, to be honest, I think is going to end up getting banned very, very fast. I think this card is incredibly powerful, and I think it opens up the. It is so powerful that it could be basically 7 drop you win the game, like in the right deck, and it's not even that hard to get to. And that card that we're going to be looking at is Emergent Ultimatum. So this is 2 black, 3 green, 2 blue. So Sultai colors, and those are colors that are already very powerful in standard, as well as other forms. I understand that there's Sultai Pioneer decks out there, Sultai Modern decks, etc., etc. So it's a color combination that already didn't need a whole lot of help. Don't get me wrong, I love it. It's a great color combination, but all the same, it's already very powerful. So what does Emergent Ultimatum do? What's the big deal? Search your library for up to 3 monocolored cards. That's the only restriction. They have to be a single color. And then exile them. An opponent chooses one of those cards. You shuffle that card into your library. Then you may cast the other cards without paying their mana cost. Exile Emergent Ultimatum. So there are a number of things you can do with this. And basically, it's the idea is you pay 7 and your opponent has to um, you're then giving your opponent a puzzle, a riddle, and if they get it wrong, they lose the game. But if you structure that riddle correctly, no matter what they do, they lose the game. It's just a matter of how. And you don't even have to you don't have to go that far. You don't have to think particularly hard to get to crazy shenanigans with this. The one example that I've seen is omniscience. Like the moment you put omniscience in the pile, like you can do insane, crazy things because you get the spells for free. If these went to your hand, or you could cast one of them, or you could pay one of them without paying its mana cost, and then you got the other for free. That would all still be very, very good. But the fact that you get two of these spells absolutely for free is insane. So just think about this. Heliod, Walking Ballista, right? Let's say I want to get that combo online. Now, I understand in that situation we have to deal with white, but right now with Elysian Dryad and the Gilded Goose and Paradise Druid, like getting to 4 colors is not hard. So let's go ahead and assume that we're running in 4 color deck, and I want to establish the Heliod Walking Ballista combo. If I want to get to that combo, you know what I need to do? I get Heliod, I get Walking Ballista, and I get a Diabolic Tutor. I wouldn't even use Demonic Tutor. I would use Diabolic just to be a dick. And in that situation, here's what they do. They have a choice. They can either give me the Heliod Walking Ballista combo, and I can set it up immediately. Although actually, Walking Ballista is not the correct choice there, because if you're paying it without paying its mana cost, you won't get any counters. Instead, Triskelion. I've talked about this numerous, numerous times. Use Triskelion in that situation. It'll work just fine. So Heliod, Triskelion, Diabolic Tutor. Then what ends up happening is, so they don't, okay, there's something here they don't want to give you. Well, they're going to go ahead and take away, say, actually the best one they could take away is Triskelion, believe it or not. But let's say they don't. Let's say they take away Heliod. Well, the first thing you do, Heliod shuffles back into your library, then you cast the Diabolic Tutor for free using Emergent Ultimatum, and go get Heliod. Put him in your hand, pay 3, boom, he's on the board. And then you cast the Triskelion for free using the Emergent Ultimatum, you're online, you win the game. Like, and that's not even like you don't even have to think very hard. The moment you throw a tutor into the mix, all of a sudden you do just have all of them. And it doesn't become a question of which one do I want to give my opponent. It's which one do I want my opponent to have to cast? That becomes the question. That's vicious. Like that is truly vicious. And the reason I say diabolic tutor instead of demonic tutor is because it's a difference of like $60, and the 4 versus 2 mana cost isn't going to be a big deal. Like you're not going to care. Diabolic tutor costs 4, demonic tutor costs 2. They do the exact same thing. And since you're already gonna, whatever. I mean, if you have the money, get demonic tutors in your deck. That way you can go fetch up Emergent Ultimatum cheap and easy, so you can make sure to set it up. Yeah, it's insane. And that's like, and I didn't have to work hard to get there. That is very, very easy. And there are also all kinds of crazy things with like fastest oracles. And I mean, I can already think of a couple combos that like if I have a sacrifice outlet online, um, Kai's Ghost Form and Archon of the Falling Stars, that creates an infinite loop that I can Thassa Oracle win with. Like this thing is gonna get broken. We're gonna see a lot, and with the ramp packages that are available in standard right now, that also fix your mana, it is gonna be really, really easy to get up to this thing and really blow it out. So I suspect, like, this is one of those cards that I would not recommend buying. It is so good that by the time it's available in physical print, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets banned in at least one format. Like, this is going to be insane. Specifically, it reminds me of two cards that are both incredible. If they resolve, you win the game kind of pieces. And that is Gifts Ungiven, which was originally printed in the Kamigawa block, where you search your library for 4 cards with different names, reveal them, an opponent chooses 2 of those cards, you put the chosen cards in your graveyard, the rest into your hand. And that way, it's again giving your opponent this kind of riddle. And this is a Gifts Ungiven is a staple in Storm decks. That way you can fill crazy things up into your graveyard, and use something like Past in Flames, so then you can flash them all back, get the storm counter up crazy high, as long because you can leverage the cards in your graveyard. So that's the idea with Gifts Ungiven. Incredibly, incredibly powerful. The other spell that this reminds me of is Tooth and Nail, which was originally printed in Mirrodin, where you search your library for 2 creature cards, and if you paid the entwine cost, if you paid 9, which every single time you're going to, it's a really desperate situation where you don't entwine Tooth and Nail. For 9, you basically search your library for 2 creatures and just drop them smack dab on the battlefield. Just boom, there you go. And it's one of those where 90% of the time, like if I don't win right out, I'm gonna win next turn because I take all the major bombs, all the big monsters that I have that are really gonna help me drive this thing home, and they give it to you. They're just right there. They're just boom. Well, Emergent Ultimatum gives you that, but in the case of Gifts Ungiven, I'll get this right one of these days. Where am I pointing? Right here. Yeah. In the case of Gifts Ungiven, you're looking at putting the cards in your hand. You put 2 of them in your graveyard, you get 2 of them in your hand, and your opponent has to choose. So, like, on the surface, that doesn't look super broken. It's really just busted in certain circumstances when you can leverage both of them well. So it's great in Storm. It's not amazing in a lot of other situations, but there are a few other combo decks that, like, okay, you can leverage it. You can do crazy things with it. And there are ways to break it, for sure, no question. But the cards go into your hand. You still have to cast them after that. So you have to have the mana to not only resolve Gifts Ungiven, but also then follow up with it, and actually do something with the cards that you've gotten. Tooth and Nail, they go straight to the battlefield, but it costs 9, and you're limited to creatures. And so that fits within Green's. That fits within kind of Green's purview. It makes sense for what they're doing. So all right. It's again very, very powerful. You can put game-winning combos into play with it. So yeah, it's again, it's awesome. No question. It's a great card. But the limitations kind of make sense. With Emergent Ultimatum, you can't fetch up other ultimatums because you're limited to monocolor spells. But do you know how many amazing game-shattering monocolored spells there are in the game of Magic? Thousands. So we're gonna see this card shatter a lot of things. At the very least, it is going to become the next card that you hold up counter spells for, at the very least in your EDH games. I, I I can't tell you how important it's going to be to counter this thing before it resolves. Because the moment it resolves, you are hosed. If you tap out and your opponent throws this, just concede. There's no point. And actually, you would be kind of a jerk to make your opponent shuffle their entire library before the next game. Although, if they cast an Emergent Ultimatum on you, I guess that's kind of fair. Yeah, so this card is going to be nothing short of completely busted. Also, it's really fun right now. If you hop out onto Twitter, a lot of people are. showing what they would grab with Emergent Ultimatum and like what kind of combos you can come up with. Some of them are really, really fun and interesting, and a lot of them are game shattering combos. And you have the idea of like I can put three amazing cards that can help advance my board state, or I'm going to give you the choices between one card that's just going to win me the game, or a two-card combo that's going to win the game. Like it's insane some of the nonsense that people are coming up with this, and I have a feeling it's going to enable a lot of combos in standard. Like we're going to see a lot of decks that just ramp like a mother to get up to this thing, and then just pop off. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen a lot. So strap in. Like I would be shocked if there isn't a competitive deck that runs this before too long. The other thing that I want to throw out with all the ultimatums, Fires of Invention is still here. It hasn't gone anywhere. So this is just a 7 drop. In a Fires of Invention deck, having these in like all of a sudden actually like I'm gonna modify my fires deck so that I'm running Fae of Wishes again with all the ultimatums in the sideboard because those are phenomenal 7 drops that are gonna be just ludicrously powerful. Um, and with Fires of Invention, the mana fixing isn't an issue. You don't care. So that's ooh, this has me scared. Like this has me genuinely scared. Um, yeah, like I know, and again, I pointed this out yesterday um, with the obelisk, obelisk. I forget the name already. Anyway, with that, it's not obelisk. Anyway, with the artifact I was talking about yesterday, this the ultimatums also rare, not mythic. So we're gonna see a lot of them. Strap in. They're not going anywhere. They're gonna shake things up in a big bad way. But then again, looking at Ikoria, there's a lot of stuff that's going to get shaken up in a big bad way. And looking at the power level of this set, one of two things is going to happen. We are either going to see a meta where everything is incredibly powerful, but they're all equally powerful, and you just have these huge titanic battles between incredibly powerful decks. Or what we're going to see is a lot of things that are incredibly powerful, and there's going to be one example. There's going to be one deck that is the most efficient at getting to its power, and it is going to absolutely dominate the entire meta, and we're not going to be able to touch it. And I have a feeling Emergent Ultimatum might be a part of that package. So it could be wrong. We haven't seen all of the Ikoria cards, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is. So yeah, there we go, guys. This has been Emergent Ultimatum on Overthinking MTG number 64. Thank you so much for hanging out. You can find me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/hamhocks42. I'm also available here on my YouTube channel as well as anywhere you get your podcasts where you can find episodes like this. And yeah, I will talk with you guys next time. Later.